Now, I'm still doing the research, but from what I understand, Kanye did not have a prenuptial when they got married.
Fool.
Dumb ass. Are you mean to tell me that man is worth a couple $100 million, y'all? You mean that he deserves it?
He deserves it.
Let me tell you what's gonna happen. When he no longer the man in 10 years, she gonna get a divorce and start sleeping with somebody else like they all do. Look at Tiger Woods' dumbass. That woman was a housemaid. She was the babysitter. And now she's a multi-millionaire, one of the richest women in the world because of his dumb ass. Talking about, I'm not black, I'm Kablan Asian, I'm multiple races. Yeah, broke now, can't even win a tournament. Can't even think about that damn money. Damn, $100 million. And then you got Michael Jordan's dumbass. How old is that woman? Like 36?
Maybe.
She's damn near 60. And you marry somebody almost young enough to be your daughter, and she's white. And you're one of the richest blacks in the country.
Cuban white. Cuban white, yeah.
White Cuban.
Model, yeah.
And so, when Michael Jordan gets old, up in age, and he transitions, and we don't wish it. But let's be honest, women live longer than men, black and white. Women live longer than men.
She got all this money.
So when we die and we marry these non-black women, they get all of our damn money. And you have no say-so in how they spend it. That's my problem with interracial marriage. I ain't got nothing against no white woman. She's a person. I'm going to respect her as a human being. But you don't give your wealth over to people who already got enough and earns they're stealing from yours. You don't do that shit. Even the young black actors. I like Terrence Howard. Then I saw a quote he said the other day, talking about the brother in the NFL who punched his wife and knocked her out.
Ray Rice.
He said, well, that's why black men don't date black women. They don't know how to look at that. That's Terrence Howard.
He said it on film, TV? Should never said it in front of nobody. Should have kept it.
He married to a white woman of Mediterranean. I heard she's Mediterranean. You gotta get the person
He should have never said it.
The young black actors, Tay Diggs.
What?
Cuba Gooding Jr. Don't make no damn sense. And they don't even be attractive women. Not even cute women.
Wow.
Bucking like a chicken at 40. Neck hanging. That's what you want to wake up with. Is that your mother? No, that's my wife. Damn. The AIDS test you get at the doctor's office does not test for the disease, y'all. It only tests for the antibodies, which any one of us can have in our system. You got to know the difference between a disease and an antibody. Everybody in here got antibodies of something. You breathe them in through the air. Cancer, AIDS, this, that, but your immune system gets rid of them. How you want to say I got something because I got the antibody? That's like saying you smoke cigarettes because you're in the room with people who smoke. That's why they make you sign that waiver. July 2006, y'all, let's go back through the timeline. The Food and Drug Administration approves the first one-day drug for AIDS, which eliminates the need for a cocktail approach, which was dominant in the 80s and 90s. Now you just take one drug, and that's supposed to take care of all your AIDS issues. 1959, blame it on Africa. According to the white man, the first known cases of AIDS in America occurred in a person who died in the Congo. Stay with me, this is America, this is right now. This is right now. They will tell you that AIDS came to America because somebody in the Congo in Africa came over there with it. 1960. HIV-2, a viral variant found in West Africa, is thought to have been transferred from monkeys to people in Guinea-Bissau. Can I ask y'all a question? I want y'all to see the racism in this. The white position on AIDS. Some of y'all never heard this before. Do your research because you're not going to believe it. Go to the library. The white position on AIDS is that AIDS came from a monkey to a man. Better yet, let me take that back. AIDS came from a monkey to a black woman in the Congo region of Africa. And that black woman brought AIDS to America. Do you see what they're telling you right here?
Yes.
They're saying that black women were sleeping with monkeys. This is what they're telling you. That white women were having sex with orangutans, caught AIDS, and gave it to the world. If you don't believe me, do your research. They have not changed that story yet. They have not changed that story yet. The African rhesus monkey, it got passed on to a woman, but we don't know how it got passed on, but it went from the monkey to the black woman. They're saying that the monkey slept with the sister and gave AIDS to the world. Now, if we do our history on bestiality and human culture, who has the highest rate of bestiality in their culture? White folks. It was in the New York Times the other day. White man got locked up for having sex with his puppy.
What?
New York Times, yes. Horses, apes, fish, everything. Stop it! Stop it! The homosexual culture, bestiality culture, anti-nature people. That's who they are. They are anti-nature people. Anything nature do, we're going to go against it. Nature said it only rains during these seasons. We're going to make it rain when it ain't that season. Nature said you can only have a baby when a man and a woman lay down. Well, we're going to make it so a man and a man can have a baby. You know they're working on that now, right? They're trying to do it away where when the one man can impregnate his male partner and he can carry the baby.
Oh my God.
And now they got this new thing. I forget the name of it. You know the new thing is when the gay couple, two gay men, they will go to a woman and they will both take their semen and mix it up.
Cocktail.
And put their semen like a cocktail into the woman. So when she get pregnant, they don't know which one of them actually impregnated the woman. So they can live their life under the lie of never knowing whose baby this really is. But because we love each other, we don't care to know. I just want to live my life with you and raise our children.
Until that baby comes out black.
Now I see some of y'all black women shaking your heads. Do you know how much money they pay for that? You can get $250,000 carrying a white gay man's baby. I see you got real quiet in here.
Money talk, huh?
Get your hustle on.
Money
Get your
talk.
hustle. Get your hustle on. I'm only bringing that up because I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a black person living in America and you claim you got principles you believe in, America will test the hell out of you. For all my young brothers, I'm talking to all my brothers in college right now, my sisters in college right now. I'm glad I went through college a generation before you did. You know why? Because now, because of the new gay hierarchy in the black community, in order for many of y'all to get into certain professions that y'all want to be, y'all going to have to engage in homosexual practices as a rite of passage. That's right. Look at a lot of the black male politicians, black male preachers, black males in the media like effeminate Tom Joyner, black males in college, black males in college. A lot of them are effeminate, if you notice. Not necessarily gay, because you can be effeminate and not gay. Some brothers don't like nothing but women, but they're very effeminate in their demeanor. Effeminization has nothing to do with your preference for a partner. It's all about the manner in which you operate. Do you have a feminine disposition or masculine? Gayness relates to being attracted to someone of the same sex sexually. For example, when I speak in the prisons, a lot of them gay brothers are masculine as hell, but gay as shit. Okay? But I'm saying this, my brothers, because some of y'all gonna get tested and y'all gonna have to be strong enough to say, I'm not in there. They're gonna say, you want this job? You can have this job tomorrow. $250,000, $20,000 sign-on bonus. But you have to come into my office for a few minutes.
Break it down.
This is what they're doing. And a lot of brothers are breaking down, thinking about committing suicide, because you know what they did? They paid the price. Got in, realized it wasn't worth it. And now they're hurting inside because I contradicted what I stand for to get somewhere in life. It's the homosexual hierarchy in the black community. Ladies too, there's a lesbian ring. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper. There is a lesbian female ring operating within the black female conscious community in the United States. I ain't gonna say no names, but you know I get all the stories because I'm a therapist. I get all people's stuff. I'm telling y'all sisters right now, if you're conscious, be on the lookout, because sooner or later you will be approached by other so-called conscious women who are gonna want you to join a certain type of a behavioral circle. That's right. See, some people take that feminism too far. Some people take their issues with black males too far. You talking about you hate men, you hate men, you hate men, you hate men, you hate men. Sooner or later you end up on the other side. Same thing with you black men. I hate women. Women ain't shit. Women ain't shit. Women ain't shit. Next thing you know, you floating through the aisles. Remember, at its basic level, lesbianism is rejection for the black male. At its basic level, homosexuality is rejection of the black female. Why did the Greeks and Romans practice homosexuality so hard? Because in their religious doctrine, they felt that, because the devil made Eve bite from the tree, right? They said the woman was the handmaiden of the devil. So they said any godly man would not sleep with a woman because the woman is the handmaiden of the devil. She's the one who caused Adam to fall from grace. So for those of y'all who know your Christian history, you got to understand it is from that history that homosexuality was born. Blaming the woman for the faults of the man. It goes all the way back to religion. So the Greeks and Romans said we're not going to sleep with other women, we're going to sleep with men. Gods will sleep with gods. That's where the practice comes from, smacking men on the butt. If you watch football and basketball, you know how they give each other a pound. Now the brother doing it ain't gay, right? LeBron smacked Dwayne Wade on the ass. It's just a cultural thing, right? But guess where it comes from? They come from Greco-Roman culture. That's how the pedophile chose his boys. He would walk by and smack him on the ass. That means I see you later.
Wow.
Any brothers in here used to wrestle? The whole wrestling culture comes out of the pedophilia and the homosexual culture. That's why in wrestling, what happens? You get down in front,
I never liked
and he gets behind you. He puts his hand here. Hand here. That's what you do before you sodomize somebody.
Wow.
Because remember, in order to sodomize the kids, you had to wrestle them down to the ground. I'm just giving it to you. The word mentor. That's why we say our boys need mentors. They need mentor. The mentor was the pedophile. That's where the word torment comes from. To torment the child sexually. Mentor. This is them. Break it down, brother. And everybody's scared to speak out against it. 1975, first reports of wasting and other AIDS symptoms are reported in Africa. 1976, a Norwegian sailor dies of AIDS contracted in Africa during the 60s. Notice how they frame it Africa. 1977, a Danish physician, Greg Brosk, dies of AIDS contracted while where? In Africa. 1978, a Portuguese man dies of HIV-2, first non-African person to get infected with the new strain, which he allegedly caught in Guinea-Bissau, Africa. 1980, Ken Horn, first official case of U.S. AIDS, is reported to the Center for Disease Control. 3 other official U.S. deaths from AIDS are recorded the same year. 81, Nick Rock, the first New York City AIDS case, dies on January 15th. By the end of the year, 121 people have died in America of AIDS. 1981, gay-related immunodeficiency. That was one of the early names for AIDS. Center for Disease Control reports a cluster of pneumonia. Check it out. A cluster. That means they're clumping diseases together. A cluster of pneumonias. Since when is ammonia AIDS? And 5 gay male drug users in Los Angeles. And that's another thing. The shoot 'em up culture, it was putting the virus in the drugs too, mixing it with the heroin. They bring it through the illegal economy and they bring it through the legal economy at the same time. Stop putting stuff in your body. Even the stuff that they sell you in the stores. They put stuff in the food in the stores, y'all. You gotta watch that stuff. And that's why you gotta watch what you eat. You eat Whole Foods, but Whole Foods ain't even Whole Foods. Remember, back in the 80s, there was what? Raw. Remember they had the big raw sign on the box? This is raw. Then they went to all natural. Then they went to organic. And then they went to certified organic. Do you know why they keep changing the title? Because what they're doing is they keep on changing the definition of what organic is. Do you know that in order for something to be organic in America, check the Food and Drug Administration website. You can have non-organic products in it. It's a percentage. I think it's 95%. 95% of the product must be organic and be called organic, but 5% can be made up stuff. That's why y'all go to Whole Foods in Sacramento talking about, I'm going to go give you some watermelons. And you buy a 25,000-pound seedless watermelon for $5. You's a dumbass. First of all, how the hell you got a grape or an apple with no damn seeds talking about it's organic? What the hell is organic about something without no seeds in it? If it's organic, it gotta have seeds. They playing with your emotions. Because organic is a buzzword for black people. Put organic on something black people around. Organic lollipop. Manipulating you. They know you want to eat healthy. They know you want to be healthy, so they manipulate you. And then the food be so damn expensive in the Whole Foods. Oh, man. Damn. I went in there one day for lunch. I'm a PhD psychologist. I went in there for lunch, bought some grapes. No, cherries. Cherry, my favorite fruit, right? I swear it was 20 cherries in that bag. She said, you got to put on this. I said, how much is the cherry? She said, you got to put on the bottle. For 20 cherries, I paid about $30. Talking about they out of season. Well, so is your ass, because I'm not buying. How's that? Everybody's out of season today. Crazy stuff. And all these stop and goes we got in the hood, Latinos, Asians, the corner stores, please be careful about shopping from a corner store. Let me tell you what they do. I'm a corner store, poppy store, black neighborhood. You know what I do? I got a relationship with the major white supermarket. Let's say it's Pathmark, the big place, right? I go to Pathmark and we got a relationship where they call me up 1 week before the milk go bad. And I come and pay them a discounted price, up to 75% off of that bad milk, which I can legally still sell to the blacks in the neighborhood because the expiration date hasn't ran out. But what I'm gonna do, because I believe milk don't go bad that fast, I'm gonna change the expiration date on the bread and on the milk and on the orange juice. I'm telling you what they do. As much as you can, if you got a shop, go to a supermarket. Watch the corner store, they selling you bad food. They selling you bad food. Please be on the lookout for that. And by the way, I don't know if y'all know, but the Food and Drug Administration approved, they can now sell cloned milk in the supermarket. Cloned milk can now be sold in the supermarket. Okay? 1982, the CDC announces that drug users can become infected with HIV through sharing of needles as a major source of disease. So they admitted that you can get AIDS through the needles. Drug users, heroin epidemic. 1984, AIDS comes to America. The United States Health and Human Service Secretary announces that Dr. Robert Gallo has discovered probable cause of AIDS, a retrovirus subsequently named human immunodeficiency. In 1985, March 2nd, the FDA approved the first AIDS antibody screening test for use on donated blood for transfusions. Rock Hudson is the first American celebrity to die of AIDS in 85. The Center for Disease Control and the World Health Organization defines AIDS in Africa as prolonged fevers. Look. Remember how I said they clump stuff in that's not even AIDS? Look at this. A prolonged fever for a month or more, losing 10% of weight, and prolonged diarrhea. Now you and I know there's a lot of flus and other things you can get where that can happen. But in Africa, they automatically call you AIDS and they quarantine you. It's the definitions. White supremacy kills black people for the definitions. You have to know the definitions of everything. In fact, whenever you have a conversation with white folks, even though you know the definition, you need to know their definition.
Exactly.
Excuse me, what do you mean when you say that my son was given a fair chance?
Right. Exactly.
What do you mean that black people are citizens of the United States? What exactly do you mean by freedom? If you stick to the words, they will never be able to outsmart you. Make them define the words they use. Hell, you can make them define every word. What does the mean? Oh man, what? No, the, I need to know. That's the first word in the sentence, damn it. What is that? 1 million Americans are infected with the disease in 1986. AZT is approved to treat AIDS. 1991, Magic Johnson. Y'all remember that?
Yes.
1991, I was in 11th grade, diagnosed with the disease, but has yet to suffer any symptoms. Can anybody explain that to me? How the hell you had AIDS since 1991 and you ain't had, you see how fat Magic is, neck all big? Look like Mike Tyson neck. Talking about he got AIDS. I can't tell. You notice you ain't heard no conversations about it or nothing no more because he never had the damn thing. He's part of the front. No damn AIDS. 1992, when I graduated from high school, AIDS becomes the #1 killer of men ages 24 to 44 in America. 1999, January the 31st, a study suggests that a chimpanzee virus was passed to humans in West Equatorial Africa and developed into 2 various types of AIDS. They still saying it came from monkeys in the damn jungle. 2000, the World Health Organization estimates that 20% of new AIDS cases are the result of blood transfusion. Most blood is properly screened today, so how can you justify the increase? Wow. Gotcha. Simian immunodeficiency virus, SID, is found in gorillas, suggesting that Africans got some AIDS from the gorillas. Because remember, white folks said we was jungle bunnies and shit, we was sleeping with the animals. So it was real easy to convince the world that we got AIDS from the monkeys because that's what we slept with anyway, the damn monkeys. And then white folks got a nerve to be talking about some black people look like some damn monkeys, right? So the next time a white person tell you look like an ape, this is what I want you to tell the crack. Tell him if I shave the ape's hair off of his body, what color is his skin? And does the ape have a big, full buttocks like a black man or woman, or a flat ass like the European? And does the ape have full lips like the black man and woman, or small lips like the European? Does the monkey have a big nose like the black man, or a small one like the European? So who really related to the monkey? Me or you, mother? And then he says what? What they call it, natural selection. Charles Darwin, evolution. We came from monkeys. Listen, let him say that, because he did. But you didn't. Some of y'all did arguing with white people. You did not come from a monkey. Yes, he did. He tells you. He was crawling, and then we started walking, and then we stood up straight. And then we started molesting our kids. So if he wants to believe he came from a monkey, let him believe he came from a monkey, but you didn't come from no damn monkey. In fact, there was some research that came out 2 months ago that said that only Europeans, white folks, have a gene within their DNA that is Neanderthal in origin. Nobody else has it. So yes, he came from the damn monkeys. He became that, but you didn't. We had advanced civilizations at the time of the caveman. So we couldn't have evolved from you because we were already evolved. In conclusion, I want to get to something really quick. Here we go. Real quick on Ebola. Okay. Named after a river in the Congo. Y'all know that? The Ebola River. Named after a river in the Congo, the Ebola virus kills 90% of its victims. The Congo, the richest nation on earth, also gets blamed for being the birthplace of AIDS and Ebola. Why the Congo? Because the Congo is the richest piece of real estate on the face of the earth. There's no place on earth that has more or a higher concentration of natural resources than the Congo. Gold, diamonds, oil, coltan. You know what coltan is? That's what you need for your cell phone, your iPad, your laptop, car, helicopter, any electromagnetic device that communicates needs coltan. Guess where the world's largest repository of coltan? The Congo. So you see the strategy? Make people scared to go there so we can keep robbing and stealing shit. That's what all this is about. In 1976, while blacks in America were fighting to send their children to integrated schools, this virus is also blamed on monkeys that infected humans, but no one has clarified the medium of transmission. In other words, white folks say that Africans got AIDS from the monkey, but they won't say we slept with the monkey. Those infected or who die from liquefaction of their internal organs. Ebola liquefies your organs. Do you know what that means? Could you imagine your heart, liver, and kidney boiling to the point of melting? That don't come from God. White man made that up. And now you see what they're doing? We're finding cases of Ebola in America. I'm telling you where this is heading. To you. Next thing you know, they're going to talk about something. We found a whole community. They ain't going to say black, but it's all black. We found a whole community where 85% of the people somehow, we don't know how, we doing research and studies, they've all been infected with Ebola. How did Ebola jump over the Atlantic Ocean that fast? They playing games. And guess what's so sad about it? You got white doctors who work at that bioweapons lab too. You got black doctors coming up with diseases for black people. Major outbreak reasons for Ebola. Check it out. The Congo, diamonds and coltan. This is where the Ebola at. Sudan, oil. Gabon, all kind of resources. South Africa, gold and diamonds. Uganda, gold. Is it a coincidence that the highest rate of AIDS and Ebola in Africa is with the highest concentration of resources? In conclusion, brothers and sisters, because there's a lot more here, but I know we got to take our break. The point is, we got to understand all this is about one thing: zero population growth. The goal for the European is to get black people to zero population growth. That means what? I need y'all to understand what it means. And then I'll conclude. It means we want to get to a point where more black people die every year than are born. The minute you can predict that in Sacramento for the year 2014, we had X amount of blacks died, X amount of blacks were born. More died than were born. You're at zero population. That means you can do a mathematical calculation and you can predict the year where there won't be another black in Sacramento.
Right.
That's why we must be against abortion. That's why we must be against homosexuality.
Right.
That's why we're against AIDS and Ebola. That's why we don't want our children immunized. That's why we don't want our elders immunized. That's why we fight against drugs and alcohol and cigarettes, because all of that weakens the black male's sperm potency. It also weakens the black woman's ability to ovulate. That's why they want to give our young black teenage girls an HPV vaccination in their cervix. Y'all heard about that last year. They want you to let your daughter open her legs so they can put a needle in her cervix so she don't get cervical cancer. Are you kidding me? You really believe that? That the Food and Drug Administration is going to give your daughter something in her cervix so she don't catch it? And then 5 years from now, she's sterile. Sorry. Remember they was put, what was the drug? There was Depo-Provera. And they found out that the Depo-Provera wasn't just stopping black women from getting pregnant, it was stopping them from ovulating. Shutting your whole system down. Now we got all these black women who are getting cysts in their ovaries. We got it clear. I just had a sister text me the other day crying. A friend of mine, they want her to take out her ovaries. Talking about you got a high risk of cancer. Why don't we just get rid of the eggs now? That's right. Because you fail to realize that white supremacy is non-emotional. They don't give a damn. These are people who put your ancestors in chains and treated them like they was less than animals. They the same people now. And stop letting people tell you to stop talking about slavery, because at one point or another, everybody was a slave. It might be true that at one point or another, everybody was a slave. But guess what? No slavery equals yours. Three things make the American enslavement of the African totally unidentical with any other slavery in world history, including the Bible. Number one, your slavery was the only slavery in world history where you were not considered a human being.
Thank you.
Show me a slavery anywhere on earth where the victims were not even people. You had to fight to be a person before you could fight to be free. Don't let nobody tell you that shit. Number two, your slavery is the only slavery in world history where it was punishable by death for you to want an education. No other slavery made it punishable by death for a person to simply get an education. And number three, your slavery is the only slavery in world history where everybody in the world participated and benefited from it. You don't let nobody tell you that, but the white man knows that. And the reason he don't want you to keep talking about slavery, because the more you talk about slavery, the more you eliminate the illusion of inclusion. And that's why Texas Department of Education just passed a law that says they no longer teach slavery in history. That's right. Since y'all don't want to be black anymore, why don't we just get rid of that piece of y'all history that made y'all so different from the rest of us? And the other reason why they don't want you to talk about slavery is because it means that they're old. We are old. Reparations. But let me be clear, before we get external reparations, we must first give to ourselves internal reparations. Internal. Psychological reparations before the money. Because if black people don't fix our problem, we could get $1 trillion today. And white folks will be $1 trillion richer tomorrow. Check me out. And this is where I disagree with the reparations groups. We respectfully disagree. But why are y'all looking for a payout before you have the economic infrastructure to capture that money when it comes in? So are you really fighting this fight for our people, or are you looking for a personal economic stimulus package? Has anybody seen a list of the lawyers who are involved? Who's fighting this fight for reparations? Are these bourgeois Negro? Who are these people? Are these boule Negroes? Who are these people? Why is that lawyer list secretive? Don't let nobody con you on your emotions. We got to come to the table intellectual about the situation. Because we may get it, but if the cracker strikes a deal with the boule, it'll be like you got nothing. In my opinion, money should not be one of the commodities on the list to be requested. Because American money ain't worth shit in the first place. And the only thing you can do with money is give it away. So anything on the list of requests for reparations has to be things that can never run out. Because the benefit that accrues to white people by virtue of our ancestors being in slavery will never run out. So that means we may never pay tax a day again. We may go to college for free. Certain resources can only be sold by black folks. Certain neighborhoods can only be controlled by black folks. Certain waterways are totally under the domination of black folks. Things that don't run out, not money. I hear these reparations Negroes is talking about $1 amount. I don't want no damn dollar amount. Because when that money ran out, we're stuck. And without no infrastructure, all you do is make white folks rich tomorrow. Everybody get $1 million a day. The first thing you're going to do is go get you an S500. And some hair. And the last thing I'm going to say before we take the break, because white folks is playing a psychological game on black people talking about, I didn't own no slaves. I'm only 40 years old. Why y'all blaming me for something that happened 300 years ago? Why don't y'all? I'm going to tell you why I blame you. Cracker. You're correct. You were not a slave master. You did not live during that time. You're absolutely correct. But you, white person, every one of you, poor and rich, are the beneficiaries. You are the inheritors of a legacy and wealth that my ancestors died to accrue. And you have not yet made the decision to give some of that shit back to the generations of the descendants of those who earned it. So I don't blame you for whipping my mother. I don't blame you for making her a slave. I blame your trifling ass for inheriting the benefit of slavery and doing nothing to level the playing field. And as far as I'm concerned, that's just as bad as owning to slave your damn self. That's right, shit. I'm not in my face with that shit. Talking about you got a white friend? Stop bringing up race and racism to your white friends and see how much longer they hang around your ass. A black person can only be a friend to a white person if you practice historical amnesia, if you practice racial amnesia. But the minute you bring up something about black people being treated differently, they will abandon your ass. White people culture based on military science. Everything white people do is being done with an agenda. If you have a white friend, they are with you for a purpose. They will befriend you for a purpose, something you got that they need. Their whole culture is military science. Every time you have a conversation with a white person, you are in an intellectual battle. And black people, you have to discipline your tongue because we tell white people too much about business. You tell white people too much of your damn business. Well, what about the poor white people? They in the same boat. No, the hell they don't. How many poor white men you see being shot dead by cops? Even a poor white person has a better benefit than you because they benefit from the badge of whiteness. They benefit from the white privilege card. When they wake up in the morning, they ain't got to worry about answering to a black person. They ain't got to worry about needing a black person. They ain't got to worry about being beat by cops. Even a poor white person has an easier life than a rich black one. Ask Oprah Winfrey when she was over in Europe and they wouldn't even serve her in the restaurant. Ask Oprah Winfrey when she was in Bermuda. I spoke in Bermuda 2 summers ago. They told me Oprah Winfrey was in Bermuda trying to buy a vacation home, and them crackers in Bermuda forbid Oprah Winfrey of buying that vacation home. Ask Jay-Z. He tried to buy a theater in Chicago and the crackers said, no, we don't care how much money you got.
Yes, say that.
That's right. That's right. Talking about something, well, it ain't about race, it's about class, it's about education, it's about income. White people love to tell you that shit. You know why? Because it'll send you on a goose chase to accrue them things that they told you will make you equal with white people. So you go to college, you get a bachelor's, you come back, can't find a job. You go back, get your first master's, come back, can't find a job. Go back, get your second master's, come back, can't find a job. First you was underqualified, now you... What is that? What is that? If I want to sweep floors at McDonald's to keep the damn lights on in my house, what the hell does my degrees got anything to do with it? The bottom line is we're not going to hire your ass, no matter how many degrees you got. Remember, there would be no black middle class if the United States government didn't create it. Most blacks who are in the middle class are government employees. Post office, school teachers, cops, so forth and so on. Because private white capital doesn't hire black people. That means there is no black middle class. There is no black middle class. It is a creation of the government to give the illusion of progress. And that's why you never see Dr. Umar Johnson on Tavis Smiley Town Hall. Why Tavis ain't got me here? Why I ain't giving me? Because I count bougie ass niggas. Every Louis Gates, you bougie ass. Cornell West, you bougie ass. They don't want to see me. None of those scholars want to see me. For breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Cornell West, our white brothers. How you want to call these people your brothers? You are confusing our children in terms of who their enemies are. Stop using confusing ass language, our white brothers. That shit didn't even work in civil rights. It damn sure gonna work now. Come on. Be for your own self. Black people, stop waiting on God. The God that you serve lives within you. And the God that you serve only works when you work. So if you don't get off your ass, God won't get off God's ass. You are the God. You are the God. Let nobody tell you we won't fix this. We will come out this once we make up our minds to do it. And guess what? The whole world waiting on the black man and woman. The whole world is saying we'll come back to break. The whole world is saying what they waiting for. Because only you can fix this planet. The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Thank you, brothers and sisters.